Okay, lesson 65 is my only function is the one God gave me. The idea for today reaffirms your commitment to salvation. It also reminds you that you have no function other than that. Both these thoughts are obviously necessary for a total commitment. Salvation cannot be the only purpose you hold while you still cherish others. I highlighted this line. So salvation cannot be the only purpose you hold while you cherish others. And cherish for me is another word of make special or important or idolize or identify. So to be saved, i.e. to experience your true self, to be saved from all the illusions of this world and all the suffering and all the duality in this world, what it's saying there is you should really only have one purpose, and that is salvation. That should be your only goal. That's the easiest way to do it. And you cannot, it's also true by definition. You cannot
ask, is that the function? My only function is one God gave me, which is salvation.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, God's function for you was not to be in enslavement and bondage for your whole life.
Yeah, no, often in the exercise it talks about my only purpose, whatever, is forgiveness.
They all relate to the same thing, you see.
It's quite big on forgiveness, so I didn't know function was forgiveness or salvation. That was all. Yeah. Got it, yeah.
Are we filming?
Yeah, you can run it off. Do you want to
No,
do
it's okay.
Yeah.
There was a time until very recently when this idea that we have to give up all our identifications before we can have salvation was terrifying to me, because I equated giving up identification with things with giving up those things. And there's a lesson that I was doing recently, I think it was yesterday, lesson 26 or 7. And there was a wonderful reassurance there that, because I think the lesson was, above all else, I want to see. Above all else. And there was a reassurance there that vision does not take anything away from your life. So just because I'm not identified with my fantasy relationship doesn't mean that the person in my life will leave, or that I will lose that relationship.
Yeah.
And for me before, I found this idea terrifying, that I have to be, fixated on God alone, because to me that meant everything else would leave. And I know now that it's not the case. So now I feel more secure in doing the lesson, wholeheartedly, without all of the fear.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's taken me a long time to get to that point. Again, not equating identification with the actual thing.
Yes, this is important beginning, and
Thank you.
It's the attachment, really.
yeah.
Basically, that's what it is. Yeah.
So just because I'm no longer attached to my fantasy man doesn't mean that he won't still be in my life, for example.
Thank you for sharing. There was something in me observed that wanted to get rid of the boyfriend. And that one is what. So then you try to see that it actually doesn't exist. And then there is oneness, so there's just like one, not two.
And of course the irony is that once you let someone go, like a guy, they're probably going to start chasing you like crazy. So that's probably what's going to happen, is that those things will come to you anyway, because you're no longer identified.
And then that's the thing, how it serves that purpose, so that they're there because God put them there to do something for a higher purpose. Yeah, it's real.
It brings out the best in guys if you don't care too much. Brings out their higher purpose.
Well, one becomes a radiator of love and light, you see. Everyone loves to be around love and light.
Yes, exactly.
I love to be around my spiritual teachers. If if they're in town, everyone knows who's been. You bliss out the joy, the ecstasy and of the disidentification, because as they speak, you disidentify from any remaining identifications, and you experience sublime truth. And so, yeah, I'm sure it's a good way to get a mate as well.
Yeah, it's not attractive really either way. You just feel running away. So,
Oh, yeah.
And that goes back to your point before about when you're saying when you want something or when you want something or you feel you need it, you're actually in a state of lack.
You're in a state of
And
lack.
that's why you attract more of it.
Yes.
And you attract more of the wanting because you're actually attracting more of the lack.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a negative vibration.
Mm.
It's actually a negative vibration.
Mm.
In terms of this group, I don't see any virtue in the state of desire, which is a negative vibration, wantingness. Like, I haven't got enough right now, I want, give me. This is not a good vibration in my book. Some people think it's it's good to have it. But,
It's painful.
it's pain. That's right. That's exactly what the state is. It's painful. There's no virtue in it. It's a painful state.
Well,
You know.
there's the virtue of having something to overcome and bring you closer to
Yes.
God.
Yes. Of course. I mean it has that virtue. Yes. It's a great lesson. It's a great learning opportunity. That is true. And so it's a negative vibration, and usually something negative will come out of it. Either it'll be like a bone that's always out of your reach, or you'll get the bone and it won't be what you thought it will give you. You see, you get the bone, you think, now I'm going to be in bliss forever, and then it doesn't taste that good, you see.
I think for me, instead of thinking about it as a negative thing, I think of it as a blocked energy,
Yes,
because
yes,
that's
true.
a more neutral way of to my mind, if I've got a block somewhere,
Yeah.
rather than seeing it as a negative and blaming myself or feeling guilty about it, I'm able to look neutrally with that observing part of my mind and say, there's some energy in me that's blocked, and it feels painful because there's a block. So then you just wait, you pray for it to be unblocked, and so on.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. There, it is a block. And we are removing all the blocks to the truth.
To love,
Yeah.
to the awareness of love.
That's right. We're removing all the blocks to love, and it is a block. That's quite right. And you could say like I use the big book has a few bits. Like nothing in God's world happens by accident. Nothing in God's world. So all is like teaching the removal or the opportunity for the removal of the blocks to love. Every event.
In my best interest.
Yes. It is, because until anything that seems to create a block is in your best interests.
And the blocks are just identification with form.
It's very simply, it's all it is, identification with form. It's like the universe will seemingly give you all these identifications popping up over and over and over again until there's no identification. When there's no identification, it's just like a yellow mug. Someone gets into a trauma by a yellow mug. And then one day, they go, I didn't even know there was a yellow mug in the room. The identification is gone. Whereas someone says, I go into trauma every time I see a yellow mug. And if the world had no yellow mugs in it, then I would be at peace. Well, that's not the problem. It's the identification. And the world keeps bringing back the yellow mugs, or the Gucci handbags, or the special person, over and over again until it's released, that specialness. As we said in this lesson, the cherishing of a form, of thought, the cherishing of a special thought, a special person, even that my ego is special, or that other people are separately, individually different. Which is a type of specialness being projected. What one projects onto others, one experiences as self. If I think I'm like this little body over here, the thinking thoughts, then I immediately project everyone else is like trapped in their bodies, just in their head. As I release all of that identification, then suddenly my experiencing is that these are not bodies, little thoughts trapped in bodies, you see. It shifts as my as my release of identification is released. So salvation cannot be the only purpose you hold while you cherish others. Oh, I think eloquently said, I'd agree, as you cherish form in any type. You know, the dimension of form as thoughts, form as feelings in the body, magical or special relationships, future, past, which are different types of thought. I mean, thoughts really covers a lot of it. So the full acceptance of salvation as your only function necessarily entails two phases: the recognition of salvation as your function and the relinquishment of all other goals you have invented for yourself. This is another way of framing it. I've invented my interest in thoughts, that there's certain people that are important. I've invented the body as being a magical thing. Even the history of my memories, I've invented that being of any consequence or any importance. I've invented, you could say, I invented the whole world that I perceive in my perception. It's all invented. So, this is the only way in which you can take your rightful place among the saviours of the world. This is the only way in which you can say and mean, my only function is the one God gave me. This is the only way in which you can find peace of mind. And that's the true peace. You know, we removed all the blocks to love and peace and eternity and the eternal presence, the eternal truth that resides. When all this identification, all this cherishing has been, all these inventions, all these perceptions have been released from consciousness. So today and for a number of days to follow, set aside 10 to 15 minutes for a more sustained practice period in which you try to understand and accept the idea for the day, and accept what the idea for the day really means. Today's idea offers you escape from all your perceived difficulties. Isn't that brilliant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Today's idea offers you escape from all your perceived, and it even says that your difficulties are just perceptions. They're not even real. Nah. You've been... it doesn't even buy your bullshit that it's real. like the Holy Spirit is going, you poor sods, you know. You're imagining and inventing stuff and trying to solve you've got a problem. That was paraphrasing the Holy Spirit. I'm not sure the Holy Spirit uses those words. But that's what the Holy Spirit thinks of your difficulties. They are just perceptions. Okay, we're in agreement there. You agree with the text. That's good. So to escape from your own perceptions, that's a pretty poor, sad world, isn't it?
Yes.
You invent your perceptions and then you get tormented by them. And then you have to get like a book to try and escape from. It's probably like laughing. The Holy Spirit's laughing. It's a sad world. It's a funny world, probably. It's either a sad or a funny world. Okay. It places the key to the door of peace, which you have closed upon yourself. This is good. You know, you closed it upon yourself. It wasn't you're not a victim of the world. You know, like they did it to me, or my thoughts. The thoughts were all powerful and I could not resist, or that handbag had all power and I was a victim of handbags. You know, it's like it's not the true way. So you closed it upon yourself in your own hands. It gives you the answer to all the searching you have done since time began. So the answer isn't in the handbag. You see, the answer, the search seems to be like, if I got the handbag, that'd be it. or if I got the person, if I got their alcohol. But that's not where the search is. It won't lead, it's a wild goose chase. So try, if possible, to undertake the daily extended practice period at approximately the same time each day. And this is one of the things that the Course does, which I think is very, very good. And those who know the Course really well will know what I'm talking about. Do it at the same time every day. And sometimes it will say do it every hour or do it every 10 minutes. And it will try and tell you to put that before what you think is important in the world. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
You're retraining yourself.
You're training. Like this bullshit which you think is more important than taking time out to connect to the Course. It's trying to like gently guide you. It's not that important. You've got to answer the telephone call, so you can't do the Course lesson. Trying to unhook from the world and do it. And eventually it's gently trying to say, like, do your Course lessons before whatever's happening in the world. Like I've shared here before, I was once in, I think, Poundland, and there was a person in front of me. And I have my watch now that can beep at me to do and it beeped, and I go, okay, well, there's a person in front of me, so I just closed my eyes, and I was like doing the lesson and doing my thing. I opened my eyes, and there was the cashier staring at me. Looking, she was taking great fascination. She wasn't willing to interrupt me. I was just with my eyes closed.
Mumbling something.
And then I looked at her, she was letting me do it. And then I carried on, I pretended nothing happened, I got my shopping, and I was out of there, you see. But I was, it's like the world's not that important. The Course was trying to teach me. Stop being so addicted to these perceptions that you're so hooked into, and start letting it go. And so you unhook, and you get freer. So, like it says these words, but they're very important as well. The Course is quite... So the purpose of this is to arrange your day so that you have set apart the time for God, as well as for... Look, it says it here, I remember now why. The purpose of this is to arrange your day so that you have set apart the time for God, as well as for all your trivial purposes and goals you will pursue. That's what the Holy Spirit thinks of your... You can hear the Holy Spirit. Like, you poor ego identifications that are like running around here. Like set time aside for the Course, and then later you'll have time for your trivial purposes and goals that you will pursue. Your trivial goals and purposes that you have here.
Oh God.
See, it's
But you
But it's
love
beautiful.
his stance though, you love where he's coming from. Just like, set time for the real things in life.
Yes.
Tough love.
And then,
Tough love.
yeah.
If you could get the Holy Spirit's voice tonality, like you're trivial. Okay, half an hour, you can get back to your trivial goals.
You think it's not important?
Exactly.
I have a story.
Yeah,
along
please
these
do.
lines.
Yeah.
God.
There was I was going through a couple of days of experimenting with talking to Jesus as a thought experiment, and this is the Jesus of the Course, the Jesus, and in any case. And I was imagining myself like in the Course. There's a line where it says, if you want to have a good day, then just completely give all of your thoughts and give your whole day to Christ or to the Holy Spirit, in any case, to sort of surrender everything. So I was imagining what it would feel like to just be led and guided all, in my thoughts, in every single thought I had, just to give it away. And I was kind of in that zone, and I was on my way home from work, and I was standing at a bus stop, and I was very, very tired physically, and my legs were really hurting, standing there for a very long time in the cold. The bus wasn't coming, there was some issue. And I was feeling a lot of pain and very sorry for myself. And I was still doing this exercise of just talking to Jesus the whole time and telling Jesus about it. And there was one point at which this Jesus laughed at me standing there with my whole victim story and feeling so horrible. And he said to me, "Why do you think I left that place? You know, the world. Why do you think I'm up here where I'm not in that physical place anymore?" You know, and I laughed out loud. I was standing at the bus stop, and I heard this message. Why do you think I left? You know, you should leave too. Kind of, that's the idea, right? Leave that identification with all these physical things. So, just reminded me of that story.
Yeah.
Because that detached observer that doesn't care about your trivial life also has a sense of humor, as we're finding.
Absolutely.
We're able to laugh at the trivial life that we have. From that perspective, things seem funny. And Jesus was smiling on me, thinking, well, you're suffering down there. Look at me. I got out of there as soon as I could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. Like I've often shared. One of my, my teacher who teaches the self-inquiry, I've shared this one before, but he was sharing to the whole group, the satsang, they called it. And like this girl came into to his house and was starting to share, like, I've got something really serious, I need to talk about my boyfriend. And then he said, you have to excuse me for a minute. And then he went into the toilet and burst out laughing, you know. And then put a serious face on, and then came back in. Okay, you were saying? Muji is one of my teachers, yeah. You know, this is life and death. This is my boyfriend, what you're leaving.
That was the serious matter.
Okay. You know, it'd been so. I don't think the Holy Spirit would be in agreement with him. So, the languaging in here is really, really funny. You know, everything one is pursuing in life is either trivial purposes and goals that you pursue. You know, like a Gucci handbag. Is that important? A lot of women think it's important, I think, but so it's trivial. So they should take time out for the course, so this is part of the long-range disciplinary training your mind needs. And actually, that was one of the biggest things that, you know, self-inquiry was amazing, like the detached observer, but discipline of the course, you know, and you know, like the course, like you all know, the Holy Spirit told me to buy this Casio watch. Yeah, and I've made Casio quite rich in the last, because the straps keep breaking. I'm going to put a complaint up to heaven to make stronger straps. If I have to reincarnate, stronger straps next time.
One single thought.
Strongest straps, that's it.
But no, it's got adjustable alarms.
It's a mighty request.
It's got adjustable alarms. It was the perfect watch, because I can have it go every hour, or every 50 minutes, or every 40 minutes, or every non-stop for five goes. And it's easy to stop and easy to start for discretion. So
I've got like low blood sugar levels. Do you mind if I eat a banana? Is that?
I certainly don't mind.
Okay, I love you just talking about food.
I was kidding.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course,
Fine.
yeah. Thank you. I was sort of kidding.
All right. Have some triggering or whatever.
No.
Thanks.
Talking about ice cream as the greatest thing in the world would trigger me, because that's a bit too close for comfort. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can do work if anyone gets triggered, you know, now on anything. And if you need the camera off, we can do the work.
This is where I need you to come with me for the week.
I am with you. You have my phone number as well. Yeah, you do have my phone number.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm also available on YouTube non-stop with over 100 videos as well on different discussions that we've had. So they're all there. I talk on, as you can imagine, I've had a wide variety of people and a wide variety of topics. So in a moment, we're recording now, in a moment we'll be going around the room, and everyone here is familiar with the Course in Miracles, so we'll be going around the room and we'll be doing various exercises which stem from either the Course lessons or slightly adapted versions of the course lessons. Lesson 14, for example, states in the lesson, God did not create cancer, so it is not real. God did not create war, so it is not real. So both the things within the body and the things you see outside of the world, in the world, you can cancel them. You can say that they're not real. God did not. But I have another version of saying that, which is I cancel my belief in war. I'm an infinite being subject only to what I hold in mind, or I cancel my belief in cancer. I'm an infinite being subject only to what I hold in mind, or I cancel my belief in food cravings. You can change it around depending on what it is. And okay, so my experience has been, I won't, because most of you hear it, is that it actually does work. And I've had many illnesses leave me, like kidney failure, gout, asthma, all leave me with employing cancelling the beliefs. Many health conditions and the Course in Miracles. So we're going to go around, and I'd like everyone to just sort of, we won't be recorded, it's just to be aware of the different beliefs you're holding. So you can like for example, God did not create a fearful future outcome, so it is not real. God did not create addiction, so it is not real. Or God did not create identification with thoughts and body, so it is not real. It depends on where you are in your spiritual journey as to what will come to you that will be useful. God did not, whatever it is, God did not create unpleasant sensations in the body, so it is not real. So depending on what it is, you can say it's not real, or you can say cancel your belief in it, cancel your belief in fear, or in whatever it may be that is being identified with. The core is anything what blocks you off from the present moment is anything that you're identifying with right now. If you're identifying with thoughts, that will cut you off from the now. If you're identifying with the body, that will cut you off from now. If you're identifying with the future, even like next hour is the future, you see, that will also cut you off from. So the Course in Miracles, in my words, is removing all the blocks to the experiencing of the truth right now. Letting go of everything one is identifying with or hooking into that blocks one off from one's eternal presence in the present moment. And that has created a kind of a disconnect or an experiencing of a reality or a seeming reality, or in the Course terms, an illusion of fear and separation that can somehow exist in the now, which in Course terms would be an illusory self, which has been cut off from Source. So, it's a great thing. I love doing it. I've had many miracles. I've also done it like with my mother, and I've seen miracles occur in my mother's health as well. So I found that it actually worked in all different areas. We're going to do God is the loving which I forgive later on. So if you have people in mind, it could be family members, it can be co-workers, it can be whatever it is, you can let those go. So I think it's another one we'll be doing is instead of whatever the situation is, I could see peace. Instead of what would we say? Instead of discord in America, I could see peace, for example. Or instead of anger in Donald Trump, I could see peace. Or instead of fear in myself, I could see peace. Or instead of a fearful future, I could see peace. So, the way to do it is to investigate what's in your head or what you're identifying with, and you can clear it out. If you use if you just ask for guidance, you'll see what you're currently holding on and what you should be either cancelling or saying is not real, or seeing peace instead of. You need to tune into the wisdom of what needs to be cleared out from within you. Okay, so